Hello, friends, and welcome to our live streaming services. We are on Zoom. Welcome if you're with us. Say hello in the chat. We're on YouTube and we're on Facebook. If you're on YouTube or Facebook, please go ahead and subscribe so that you can get notifications when we put up new videos. Today we have a special service put on by our social justice team called Circle of Concern. Please stick around afterwards for Talkback as we discuss whether it's time to update our covenant. As I said before, it's been 8 years since we've updated it, and the world has changed so much since 2012. I think we can all agree on that. So it's time to just discuss, does our covenant still meet our needs? And if not, how can it? What can we do to update it? All right, so stick around for Talkback for that one. That should be really fun. Okay, sweet kitty still needs a home. It's getting cold outside and the kitty needs a home. Super warm, super cuddly, super sweet, wants to be your best friend. So if you can help out, please contact Rita at admin@oakcliffuu.org. Workday Wednesdays are back. Love the alliteration. Come to the church anytime between 10 and 2 on Wednesdays to help with landscaping, needed repairs, painting. It's fun. Fun way to help your church. Get out of the house. Be busy. Okay, this is so fun. Our wonderful pastoral counselor, Deneen, and our awesome president, Beth, are doing something really special this year. On Christmas and Christmas Eve, they will be providing homemade meals to anybody who wants them. So I just think that's so special. They'll be available for pickup and delivery. Beth and Deneen are doing all the cooking, but they could use a little extra help. Specifically, if you can donate food or help bag meals or do delivery, please go to this address on the screen to sign up to help out with that. Be a great thing. If you are wanting to receive one of these awesome, delicious meals, please go to this other address here and fill out a form before Friday, December 18th. So go and do that. And if you can't remember that address, this video is on all 3 of those channels that I said earlier, and I'll probably be posting it and talk back later. I think Beth already did so. Speaking of Deneen, if you are in need of some pastoral care, please contact her at pastoralcare@oakcliffuu.org. She's also still doing 2 weekly Zoom check-ins and chats, Tuesdays and Fridays. Thank you to everyone who made the auction fundraiser a success. It really was fun, especially there at the end. I was watching the bids kind of roll in, and that was very exciting and very fun. And you won't have to hear me sing for a while, so that's really cool. Thanks to everybody who bore with that. I've been doing kindergarten too long. Anyway, thank you. It really was a success. Awesome. Thanks. If you were one of these wonderful people who helped, or if you have volunteered in any other way, if you volunteer your time and talent, please put those hours on Breeze so that we can turn that into money for the church. There are other ways to support your church financially. oakcliffuu.org/donate. Amazon Smile if you're using Amazon. I Give if you're using anything else on the internet. Our text to give option, and our Facebook donate button. If you are new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're so happy to have you. Please sign our guest book at oakcliffuu.org/guest. There are no member anniversaries today, but I would like to extend a very special happy birthday to my mother, Donna Leach. She's the best, and she helped with the auction, put on a whole lot of that. You've probably talked to her recently if you won something. She's a big help in this church and the reason that I'm a UU and go to this church with my children too. So happy birthday, Mom. I love you so much. Okay, everybody. If you're not my mom, I still hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful week. Happy Sunday.
Good morning, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Oak Cliff. Thank you for having the curiosity and courage to join us. We welcome you, whoever you are, whatever spiritual tradition, gender, age, race, sexual orientation, or background you may bring to our community. We hope that you will find here comfort, connection, challenge, respect, and above all, love. Today in Talkback, we will be discussing ways in which we may update our covenant to be more inclusive. We invite you all to join us and to lend your voice as we find ways to move our church forward.
May the light we now kindle inspire us to use our powers to heal and not to harm, to help and not to hinder, to bless and not to curse, to serve you, Spirit of love, compassion, and forgiveness. And now in Spanish. Que esta luz que ahora encendemos nos inspire a usar nuestros dones y poderes para sanar y no para herir, para ayudar y no para impedir, para bendecir y no para maldecir, para servirte a ti, espíritu de amor, compasión y perdón.
I call that church free which enters into covenant with the ultimate source of existence, the sustaining and transforming power not made with human hands. It binds together families and generations, protecting against the idolatry of any human claim to absolute truth or authority. This covenant is the charter and responsibility and joy of worship in the face of death as well as life. I call that church free which brings individuals into a caring, trusting fellowship that protects and nourishes their integrity and spiritual freedoms, that yearns to belong to the Church Universal. It is open to insight and conscience from every source. It bursts through rigid tradition, giving rise to new and living language, to new and broader fellowship. It is a pilgrim church, a servant church, on an adventure of the Spirit. The goal is the prophethood and priesthood of all believers. The one for the liberty of prophesying, the other for the ministry of healing. It aims to find unity in diversity under the promptings of the Spirit, that bloweth where it listeth, and maketh all things new.
Because we love one another, we honor each other's individual spiritual journey, we celebrate life's abundance in service to each other, our community, and the world. We connect with each other in love, respect, and acceptance. Thus do we covenant together. And now in Spanish. Porque nos amamos unos al otro, oramos el viaje espiritual de cada individuo. Celebramos la abundancia de la vida en el servicio a entre sí, nuestra comunidad y el mundo. Ponemos en contacto a unos con otros en el amor, respeto y aceptación. Así que hacemos pacto.
Come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come,
spirit of community in which we share a strength and common purpose, we turn our minds and hearts toward one another, seeking to bring into our circle of concern all who need our love and support, those who are ill, those who are in pain, either in body or in spirit, those who are lonely, those who've been wronged. We are part of a web of life that makes us one with all humanity, one with all the universe. We are grateful for the miracle of consciousness that we share, the consciousness that gives us the power to remember, to love, to care.
When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love.
The great sea has set me in motion, set me adrift, moving me like a weed in a river. The sky and the strong wind have moved the spirit inside me till I am carried away, trembling with joy.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart of the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
As many of you have already heard, this past Wednesday, December 9th, the Unitarian Universalist Church of Oak Cliff received the Peacemaker Organization of the Year Award from the Dallas Peace and Justice Center. Obviously, many yearly endeavors were canceled due to COVID, but I'd like to take the time to reflect on some of the things this church has helped with over the years, and some projects individual members work on continuously. One thing COVID has not interfered with is the community garden, which Mike Luster has devotedly tended to all year. His wife, Kat Luster, has also helped. The produce grown is added to the Oak Cliff Veggie Project, which gives out free, fresh produce once a month to the Oak Cliff community. The Lusters also help distribute the produce. Sometimes healthy food is more expensive than junk food, but these organizations take away the cost concern so people can have easy access to better food. Our physical health is especially important as we endure this pandemic. Something as horrible for your health as COVID is Shingle Mountain. Mavis Belisle, Sherry Randall, Ford PA, and I have helped protest in order to get the city of Dallas to remove Shingle Mountain from the backyards of a residential neighborhood. The fight is still going, and the weather is not as nice to be out in as when we started. But every day, the physical effects the residents of Choate Street suffer worsen. And who knows how long it will take their bodies to heal even after the shingles are removed. Mavis and Sherry in particular have continued showing up to the protests. Typically in the summer as a church, we walk in the Dallas LGBTQIA+ Pride Parade, and we will do that again once it's safe to gather in large numbers. Yet we are not silenced. Jade Harrington, the voice of our church on Instagram, himself transgender, has always patiently and kindly educated us on the needs of the LGBTQIA+ population and how we can be more inclusive of them. Alice Kinsey attends meetings for the Texas Organizing Project, which fights for prison inmates to be released who have been wrongfully incarcerated, encourages people to go out and vote for basic human rights, and sheds light on the Black Lives Matter protests that have recently happened. She listens to the voices of the oppressed to know what their needs are and if there is a way she can help. I could spend hours individually pointing out how each of our members quietly or communally is working hard to make Oak Cliff a place of equity, diversity, and inclusion, just as the Unitarian Universalist Association recently called us to do in a report called Widening the Circle of Concern. I'm very proud knowing that each of us deeply cares about others, no matter how different they may be from us personally, and that we are sensitive to how we can manage to help accommodate anyone or change or make someone feel welcome. This is not a congregation that needs to be educated about racial disparities that still exist today. Go to any of our Facebook pages and we have all said her name or his name and signed a petition sent to a mayor or state legislator. I am completely certain that our hearts are in the right place concerning all people. However, the fact remains that none of our population statistics match the population statistics of the city of Oak Cliff. We have more females than males. We have few children, teens, or young adults. We don't have many members without some kind of college education, which often translates to us also being comfortable financially. And the vast majority of us are white. There's nothing wrong with being a middle-aged or retired white female living in the middle class and with a college education. But there are so many more walks of life than that, and we value the beauty and wisdom in all of them. So what is it that we do that hinders our membership from reflecting the city's population statistics? That is what the Circle of Concern report addresses. You may be thinking, what more can we do? We commemorate Kwanzaa with a service led by African Americans. When we taught goddesses in adult religious education, we gave extra time to the Asian and African deities. We had a book club discussion group over the book White Fragility. What are we missing? There is no simple answer. The report itself is 200 pages long, although the font is big and the sentences are double-spaced, so it's a pretty quick read. It explains what some of you already know, how difficult it is for people of color to become ordained Unitarian Universalist ministers, because it is a lengthy process and it's very expensive. It's difficult for anyone to set aside years to just attend school, but not work. But our church is not a divinity school. So again, what can we do? Well, that knowledge is merely a starting point. People of color want leaders at all levels of a church and society at large to represent them. And if they are not represented, the subtle message that they won't hear a voice like theirs, or worse, their own voice won't be listened to, is implied. The same is true for anyone who is young, poor, disabled, LGBTQIA+, or in the working class. We need more diverse people in order to attract more diverse people. It's a real catch-22. This isn't merely about increasing our overall numbers or increasing certain populations simply to look inclusive. Marginalized populations feel better in larger groups because then they can create a safe haven to retreat to when the rest of the world oppresses them. Being the lone voice for that population at a church does not create a safe haven and may cause one to think they must continue to prove their value to the other congregants instead of being able to relax and revel in their worth with comrades. I'm not going to pretend to have the answers. The point of this sermon isn't to put anyone down or to tell you what to do. There is no easy answer. There is no one and done fix. As educated as we are, I ask that we please learn a little more. The social justice team has read the Circle of Concern report and written a 9-page summary of it, which, much like this sermon, is only the starting point. Our summary can be emailed to you and will be put on the Talkback Facebook page. The board is in the process of reading the full report, and committee leaders will be asked to do the same. The full text is available for free on uua.org, and physical copies can be purchased as well from the UUA bookstore. Links to both will be posted on Facebook and included in the e-blast too. From here, we start talking and planning as an entire congregation. With the information from the report, individuals will be encouraged to adjust current thoughts and actions, and committees will be guided on how to better conduct meetings and projects so everyone can be diverse yet respected and included. This is a long process that the UUA has asked each congregation to take part in, and we have to decide what this means for our specific congregation. Changing our culture to embrace and honor other cultures takes time, but is the most worthwhile goal we can strive towards. With that in mind, I ask everyone to take part in a group team building activity with me during Talkback. The last time we reviewed and changed our covenant was 2012, which wasn't very long ago, but many of us were not attending here then. Our current covenant is beautiful. It reflects our UU principles and does resonate with diverse populations. We don't intend to get rid of it completely. However, we want to make sure to include any voices who feel they are not represented and think we can change the wording of our covenant in order to embrace everyone and every beneficial and worthwhile endeavor we reach towards. Our covenant says who we are and what we hope to do with our lives collectively. Please join me in Talkback. This is an activity suggested by the UUA in response to the Circle of Concern report, and it has been approved by our board. I will also add a link to the UUA action guide on Facebook and in the e-blast so you can see more activities suggested by the UUA. Today in Talkback, we will discuss if we want a new covenant, how we can word it, set a date to vote on using it, and decide if maybe we only want to use the new one once a month. This is a time to come together and honor everyone who adds greatness and meaning to our worship and to align our utmost goals as a congregation. See you soon.
and we are singing, singing for our lives.
This house is for the ingathering of nature and human nature. It is a house of friendships, a haven in trouble, an open room for the encouragement of our struggle. It is a house of freedom, guarding the dignity and worth of every person. It offers a platform for the free voice, for declaring, both in times of security and danger, the full and undivided conflict of opinion. It is a house of truth-seeking, where scientists can encourage devotion to their quest, where mystics can abide in a community of searchers. It is a house of art, adorning its celebrations with melodies and handiworks. It is a house of prophecy, outrunning times past and times present in visions of growth and progress. This house is a cradle for our dreams, the workshop of our common endeavor. To make an offering or fulfill your pledge, please go to oakcliffuu.org/donate and follow the links.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. De ti yo recibo, a ti te doy. Así compartimos y vivimos hoy. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. De ti yo recibo, a ti te doy. Así compartimos y vivimos hoy.
The central task of the religious community is to unveil the bonds that bind each to all. There is a connectedness, a relationship discovered amidst the particularities of our lives and the lives of others. Once felt, it inspires us to act for justice. It is the church that assures us that we are not struggling for justice on our own, but as members of a larger community. The religious community is essential, for alone our vision is too narrow to see all that must be seen, and our strength is too limited to do all that must be done. Together, our vision widens and our strength is renewed.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And now in Spanish. Extinguimos esta llama, pero no la luz de la verdad, el calor de comunidad o el fuego de nuestro compromiso. Estos los llevaremos en el corazón hasta que estemos juntos otra vez.
Circle round for freedom, circle round for peace, for all of us imprisoned. Circle for release, circle for the plan keep the circle whole. Circle round for freedom. Circle round for peace. For all of us imprisoned. Circle for release. Circle for the planet. Circle for each soul. For the children of our children. Keep the circle whole. Circle round for freedom. Circle round for peace. For all of us imprisoned. Circle for release. Circle for the planet. Circle for each soul. For the children of our children. Keep the circle